For a few years in the 1970s, the Mr. Asia syndicate made millions.
Heroin creates its own market. It acts like a form of plague.
Until jealousy, betrayal and murder brought it all crashing down.
Clark would have threatened him. Go and kill him. If you don't, I'm going to kill you and your wife and your son.
This is Mr. Asia, A Forgotten History. All episodes now available on iHeartRadio, Apple, Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to the Weekend Sport Podcast with Jason Pine from News Talk ZB.
Let's get the pleasure of the company of James McOnie. Hello, mate.
How are you, Piney? Great to be on the show once again.
Great to have you on the show, considering the fact this is your regular slot. It has been for some time. It's good to have you with us as always. Hey, have you been watching the golf at Augusta?
I have. The Masters. I mean, look at the boiler suits worn by the caddies, the flowers, the patrons. They're not allowed cell phones. The history, it's just incredible. And now the matchup between Rory McIlroy and Bryson DeChambeau, it's all set up, Piney.
Yeah, going to be box office, isn't it? Do you get the feeling that the vast majority of people want Rory McIlroy to win?
Yeah, I think so. He made a little sneaky tour trip to New Zealand over the summer, Rory. Small fella. He's a wee man, slight man against DeChambeau with all his big muscles and big energy, and he's kind of the new poster child of American golf, and with his weird putting style. But I think for Rory McIlroy, it's all about the career Grand Slam, which is where you've got to win all four, not in the same year. No one's really done that. I think Tiger had a Tiger Slam, where he held them all at the same time, but didn't win them all in the same calendar year. So, yeah, he needs the Masters to complete the set. And he really, after an underwhelming first round, he's been brilliant. There was a couple of moments there that you would have seen the eagle, but it's really set up by DeChambeau's putt. 15 metres, 48 feet in American terms, 15 metres off the sort of the apron of the green on the 18th that cut the lead to 2. That is pure drama and theatre, and it makes it so mouth-watering for tomorrow.
It does, yeah. For the neutral, you're so right, because Bryson DeChambeau, he picked up 3 shots on his last 4 holes, didn't he? Birdied 15, 16, and then, as you said, he birdied 18 as well. I think if he'd been, say, 4 or 5 shots back, that may well have been too much to make up. 2 shots, though, it doesn't seem like a lot, does it?
No, and they're paired together. It's perfect. You actually need that, really. You need something like that on the final day with somebody breathing down Rory's neck, and that will make it all the more sweeter if he gets it. I don't know if Donald Trump's turning up, but he is mates with DeChambeau. But Rory famously, he has played with Trump before, but after COVID, he thought Trump was such an idiot, he just declined to play with him now. So it would be quite awkward to see if he won and Trump was there and how he'd react. Because I think even when he was picking a winner, he deliberately ignored Rory McIlroy and his form coming into it. Even after he had that incredible second round, Trump was picking anybody else because of the snub.
Anyone but Rory. All right, tomorrow we'll watch with interest McIlroy and DeChambeau battling it out on the final day at Augusta. Hey, who do you reckon are Super Rugby favourites? Everyone's played 8 games now. Who are favourites?
I think the Crusaders are the favourites. I think they look to be a team that if they peak, and get their let's just say their full complement of players out there, that they would look the strongest as well on paper. So look, they've done really, Moa Nanu at hooker, filling in for Cody Taylor has been exceptional, and I think Taha Kemeda has had that turning point season for him, running the cutter at 10. Any number of halfbacks seem to be able to do the job. I almost miss Kyle Preston now, don't you? He was so electric there for when he filled in for Noah Hotham. So, look, I think on paper it's the Crusaders. Yourself, Piney?
I kind of still think the Chiefs are. I take what you're saying about the Crusaders, but I've sort of been saying the Chiefs all along, and look, I think when they play the Crusaders in about a month or so, we'll get a pretty good gauge with only a couple of games to go until the finals at that point. I just still think they have the strongest squad. It's an odd thing to say when you look at the Crusaders roster. But, it's still the Chiefs for me.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously my love for the Chiefs will never die, but I was watching them against the Waratahs, and the wheels sort of came off a bit. They lacked a little bit of direction, and even Joseph Suaalii did slap the ball down, and it should have been a penalty at the end. I don't think the Chiefs really had many answers. They had 24 phases and didn't even threaten them. They were still pottering around out by the 22, and normally a team in possession will, by sort of banging at the door that often, will make its way to the try line. So, yeah, there's definitely things to work on for the Chiefs at the moment. They've got to sort things out. I mean, look, watching Beauden Barrett run the cutter for the Blues last night, you can't discount them. I think we've talked about this, Piney. They've been a team in a state of flux. Mark Talia could be leaving. Sounds like he's leaving. Caleb Clark probably wants to have a sabbatical and get away from his court case. All those things, but then when they got it together yesterday and just started to boss the game, they looked imperious. So maybe the Blues could sneak one with their nice, sort of back nine, as everyone's talking about. For them, a pretty kind draw to finish the round robin.
Just before we move from Super Rugby, could the Brumbies or the Reds win it? I feel like they could make the final. Do you think the Brumbies or the Reds could win it? Because it's likely, I guess, to be away from home.
Yeah, possibly the Brumbies. I mean, they could. They could. There's no doubt. I mean, what the Waratahs could. If they played like they did last night and played with that sort of intensity, and you watch Joseph Suaalii improving the whole time, that they do look like they're a team that could beat anyone, and that's probably the best thing about the competition. But hey, just a word as well on Moana Pacifica. Patrick Pellegrini's been outstanding for them at 10. Why do you rest your 10? I mean, it's not that hard for first five to play minutes. It's not like they're bashing heads against and bodies like a forward. And to rest them in that game yesterday just seemed a little bit crazy to me, Piney.
Yeah, very odd decision. A very odd one. Yeah, I'd have him running the cutter basically every day he was available. But, in Tana they trust. So let's see what happens from here on. And, hey, just before we leave rugby, good Opiki final last night, wasn't it?
So the Opiki final, you take the three finals they've had have been exceptional. Just all cliffhangers, nail-biters. There was the first one, remember, I think it was Tanika Willison needed a regulation penalty to win it and duffed the shot, and that went to Matatu. Last year, the Blues got up again. These are all one-score victories. They're all basically within touching distance. And last night, the Blues were like they were going to lose this one. Matatu had all the possession, banging on the door, and then the incredible intercept and long-range try from Braxton Sorensen McGee. Remember the name, the young Blues fullback, 18 years old. But also, the Blues using a tactic that I think the male players are very slow on latching onto, which is when players are trying to go for the line, they were dragging them into the dead ball area, into the in goal, and holding them up, like a sort of koala bear tackle, if you like, and just dragging them in. And of course, what the result now isn't a 5-metre scrum, it's a dropout from the line. So I just find the women's game, they're quick to innovate, and it was just an incredible final.
Let's finish with the NRL, where the table looks like it's upside down. Well, not with the Eels, but the Panthers are 16 of 17 teams, one win from their first 6 matches.
Yeah, the only team not to win in Australia. It's the only team not to win in the Southern Hemisphere. I mean, this is crazy to see, but I guess they do get picked off every year. A star will leave. So we all know them, Kikau, Crichton, they all go. Luai's the latest. And, of course, we've got James Fisher-Harris. So I think for Ivan Cleary, who is really a modern-day super coach, it's just been a step too far. But I'm noticing Nathan Cleary just isn't himself. And I think it's because of love, Piney. I think he is in love, of course, with Matilda Strike and Mary Fowler, who plays for Manchester City. And I think Nathan should just go and be with the one he loves. Just go to Manchester. There are rugby league clubs up there, plenty of them along that, is it the M62, the motorway between Leeds and Manchester. Anyway, yes. Just go and be with Mary, because it's not working out here with Penrith, and you've done all you can. You've won 3 in a row, and I think at some point you've got to do things for love, Piney.
Sporting insight and romantic advice We get it all with you, James, don't we, on a Sunday? Thanks for your time as always, mate.
Romantic advice.
Will you? I'm sure you'll get plenty.
For more from Weekend Sport with Jason Pine, listen live to News Talk ZB weekends from midday or follow the podcast on iHeartRadio.